Did you know that up to 40% of Etsy sales could be driven from repeat buyers? So if you're not doing anything to retarget your past customers, then you're definitely going to want to watch this video because it could be a huge increase in revenue. Hopefully in these tips I'm sharing with you today, you get inspired and you figure out the best use case for your specific customer avatar. So let's get into step number 1. The easiest and lowest hanging fruit to start retargeting past buyers is by setting up these automations that exist inside of your Etsy account. I'm sure most of you know about these, so we're not going to spend a lot of time on this, but you can see all of the different revenue streams that we have made just by simply having these on in our shop. So the lowest hanging fruit is simply turning on these automations. So you have an abandoned cart follow-up. Obviously, this is not a post-purchase follow-up, it's abandoned cart. You have a favorited automation that you can set up with Etsy, and you have a thank you. And these are automated emails that you just activate inside of Etsy, and these will send on your behalf. So the results speak for themselves. Truly, the only one that's a true follow-up in the 3 of these is the thank you, but I'm just throwing the other 2 in here because you definitely should have them on. So the thank you purchase message has generated us an extra $21,000. The abandoned cart, obviously, hitting strong at $89,000, and people favorited our items are getting sent a special offer as well, and that has generated us about $6,700. So this is, again, the lowest hanging fruit. Maybe you already know about these. We don't want to spend too much time on that since it's the easiest thing to do right now. The next thing is, after every purchase, we send a direct message thank you message. So we're actually sending messages directly to our customers post-purchase. We send something like this: thank you so much for your purchase. You can expect your order to ship within 1 to 2 business days. If you'd like to see more of us, please subscribe to our newsletter now and get a one-time XYZ sexy offer on any item. Insert link. Okay, so that is basically saying, we would love to continue this conversation with you. We would love to send you a upsell discount code if you subscribe to our newsletter. And actually, per Etsy's policies, this is actually allowed. So I'm going to insert a help article down below from the seller handbook that actually says what is the correct way to actually get emails, or there is a wrong way to get emails on Etsy. You need to have them opt into it. What better way to opt into it than ask them to opt into it, right? So it's their full choice. So as you can see here, they have actually recommendations on how to get your potential customers or your customers to subscribe. So again, I will link that help article below this video so you can check it out. The worst thing that you can do is just scrape your own emails and send them emails. That is not allowed. You cannot send emails to people that did not opt in for your email. So the email center tool that I've been using for my personal brands over the last 5 years is something called Omnisend. I particularly like them because they integrate with Shopify, but then I also can onboard Etsy customers and segment the 2 people from one another. So I can send my Etsy customers Etsy offers, and I can send my Shopify customers Shopify offers. People that generally shop on Etsy like Etsy because it's the ease of the use of the platform. So I generally like to send people back to Etsy. And so in that link that we are going to send them in our follow-up message, we're going to send them to a landing page. And this is something that Omnisend also allows you to create. So Omnisend already has pre-built templates where you basically can just set up a template and set up an opt-in form where now if they opt in, not only will they be added to that list inside of your Omnisend account, but then it will also automatically send them a thank you email with their discount code. And in that thank you email, that is where you can send them not only the discount code, but the link back to your Etsy shop. And I generally like to put the share and save link there. So if they do click on that share and save link from that email, then Etsy is not going to charge me the full 6.5% selling fee. The third thing that we can do to try to retarget customers or potential customers is we can add this link to other places in your Etsy shop. So remember, if you reference the help article, it actually says that make it easy to subscribe. If you have a website and blog, include a newsletter subscription link on your homepage or sidebar widget. Remember, according to the help article, you should add the link to your newsletter sign up in your branded web spaces, such as your Etsy shop or your pattern site and your blog. So inside of your actual Etsy storefront, you can go ahead and ask people to subscribe to your newsletter, which is another source, another way to get people into your email list and retarget them. Now, the fourth thing, right, once we collect this email list, we don't want to just send them offers once a year, right? There is a plethora of emails that we should be targeting to our list, right? If we really want to achieve that 40%, I would say 30 to 40% of extra revenue for our store, you're going to want to send out emails for everything. And I know a lot of times people are scared to do this because they feel like they're going to be spamming your customer, but you're actually not, especially if you're giving real value, right? If you're sending them happy birthday offers, which is another thing that Omnisend can do, right? Notifying them sales for holidays, Christmas, Valentine's Day, Thanksgiving, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, right? Updates on new collections, any updates with your company, right? That is how you build a relationship. You can run contests, giveaways, right? Email marketing is a whole engine within itself. But the beautiful thing about Omnisend is that you can basically set up all of these campaigns at once and you can schedule them for a future date. So you don't have to, be making these every single week. You can stockpile them in bulk. The rule of thumb with really top e-commerce brands is they send out at least 1 to 2 emails per week. Omnisend also has the ability to do SMS if that's something that you've never considered before as well, which as we know, SMS is obviously gonna convert way better than email. So if you are bold and brave, I would actually do both. I would do SMS and email at the same time. It is actually really fun to get into SMS, and if you have a big enough email list, it's definitely worth the amount that you're going to spend. Guys, if you've been following me forever, obviously you know that I use Omnisend. I'll have their link below this video so you can check them out for your own store. And finally, the last and probably one of the most important moments of truth post-sale is your product insert. So your product insert is a thank you card that looks something like this. And the rule of thumb with your product inserts is that, well, a couple of things. So let's list them out. 1, obviously you have the thank you. Number 2, you have possibly care instructions, how to use, how to build, whatever the instructions are that go with your product, right? Number 3 is you have a call to action. So every product insert should again have some sort of call to action. This is a second call to action after you sent them that message inside of actually Etsy, right? There's another call to action, and whatever that call to action is needs to be a sexier offer than what the previous offers they saw. So if your shop runs a daily sale of 10% off, and then in Etsy messages, it was a 20% off one time, 20% off if they join your email list, right? This call to action should be even sexier than that. So this hopefully gets you a double upsell, right? And whatever that call to action is, whether it's follow you on Instagram, we did for my fast fashion jewelry company, we did tag us on Instagram for super sexy offer, like 40% off or something like that. And that grew our Instagram to like 3,000 followers in the first year and a half, all from people that have spent money with us, which is the most hyper-targeted traffic on the internet. But this call to action, again, is subject to your needs and something to test. So I would use ChatGPT. You can run this into ChatGPT to give you a bunch of ideas, but just off the top of my head, some of the things that we've done in the past is tag us on Instagram for 30% off, a direct upsell, join our newsletter for a sexy offer, join our Facebook group, join our affiliate program now and get 25% off, right? There's all different ways that you can stage this. And really it's subject to test and subject to see what works best in terms of revenue for your specific customer avatar. So after the call to action, we also want to make sure that you have a QR code, right? If you just put your website, you just created a barrier to entry. You just made it harder for them to find your website and buy something else. So if you're ever trying to drive someone somewhere with that call to action, whether it's social media, a newsletter, or your storefront, you want to make sure that it's accessible via a QR code. So it's as easy as possible for them to find whatever that call to action is. Overall, guys, these are my 5 ways to get the most repeat buyers as possible on the Etsy platform. I hope you enjoyed this video and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.